Testing, testing. There we go. Hello everyone, welcome to Seal, Season 2, game between Granola and Jamie. I know a lot about Factory Folks, not a lot about 9-inch Magenta Fantasy, although I have played it against them in a prior league. And yeah, this is second stream after completely redoing my setup, so there might be some technical bumps, but we're just doing a casual stream tonight. What do we got to start off with? We got Centaur, Dawn getting banned out. Those are both 3 Dimitri heroes. So 9-inch Magenta Fantasy going after the pause 3 for Phylactery pretty early on, trying to restrict that hero pool. Meanwhile, Phylactery Fox gets rid of Night Stalker and Lich. I think in the pre-game talking, they're saying that the 4 played Lich a lot. So probably a respect ban on that, although the hero is very strong as of this patch. And Night Stalker gives you a lot of vision in team fights. It's kind of a menace if a player knows how to play him, so I imagine that's also a targeted ban. Slaughter as well, so 9-inch Magenta Fantasy really going after the 3 position heroes here. I used to play in Granola stack with Dimitri. This strategy did happen a lot in the past where teams would just try and ban out Dimitri because Dimitri was the playmaker on the stack. Although in this stack you have quite a few more players who can also playmake, so I don't think it's quite as strong with Crash and Emu. Snapfire gets banned, never very popular, powerful hero. Drow gets banned. Drow getting banned might be a sign of what's to come. You might see like a melee carry that doesn't have a jump ability get picked on the side of Factory Fox. Granola likes playing like Juggernauts, Lifestealers, Bloodseekers, Spectres, all heroes that really don't like Drow. Even though I guess Spectre does have a jump ability these days with the W. And first pick, Rubik. Not a very bold opening. Pretty flexible hero. It does restrict what you can pick on Factory Folks. And it's also kind of more bans for Dimitri, because some of the heroes that he plays as well are like Enigma and Underlord, and obviously you don't want to be picking those into Rubik, so just full on trying to stop the pause 3 of Factory Folks from having a good game here. On the other side, the Clockwork is picked up. This is likely going to be a Crash Clockwork. Pretty famous for playing that hero. So we're in for a treat this game. Going to see some nice plays, I hope. Clock as well is pretty good versus Rubik. You can get on top of him, kind of lock him down. Rubik can get the telekinesis, throw him out, although these days it's a lot easier to just get back into the ring. If Rubik does that, you can just walk back in with the recessing cogs, but Rubik Shard does give you the option to toss people out of the cogs. With Clockwork, you generally look for high damage ranged carries to pair in lane with, so like Shadow Fiend, I guess like a Troll Warlord. You don't really want to pair him with melee because trying to work the cogs with a melee carry doesn't really work that well in lane, and also if the clock goes in, gets on top of somebody, it's a little bit awkward for the melee carry to get through the cogs. 9-inch Magenta Fantasy might be recognizing that. They banned the Razor. Razor would be very strong with Clockwork and Axa, so just more Dimitri here is getting banned here. They really do not like, they're trying to ban out the entire pool. There are a couple heroes still that he plays. I mean, there's obviously Enigma, Underlord, but you don't really want to pick those into Rubik. What else does he play? I'd have to look at a list of Dota heroes to remind myself. But think like, yeah, traditional offlaners like Accenter. I'm sure there's a couple other that I'm not thinking of, but stuff like that. With like those AoE stuns. Lifestealer banned from Phylactery Folks. They might be trying to go. I mean, it's very strong versus Clockwork. They might be looking to get like Timber Saw or some other tanky heroes that don't want to be playing at the Lifestealer. Also, Axe and Razor are both very good versus Lifestealer, so it might be like a defensive reaction ban to get rid of that. They probably don't want to pick the Lifestealer this early on. There's still a couple of bans, or a couple of counter picks that you can do to make the hero not have fun. Lion gets picked. Very strong, popular meta hero right now, with that built-in innate where you get the cleave. Could be used as a core or flex to support, kind of depending on what the draft looks like. Have not seen Emu play Lion mid that much, although it's a pretty simple hero. I imagine it's not that hard. In the same vein, Venge picked up on the other side, very swappable, I guess you could say, hero that you can multi-use roles with. You can go support, you can go core. Kind of just depending how the draft goes. This early on, I'd expect they're going to build it around it being a support. So with Venge, you kind of like picking up melee carries so that you can like hit high ground, and then if they get in trouble, you can swap the Venge. Or if someone jumps on the melee carry, you can Venge swap them into you. So far, I like Phylactery Fox's draft a little bit better. Clock is not very happy into these two heroes. You get the defensive abilities to pull people out. You can swap the Clock out. You can telekinesis the Clock out. You can telekinesis ally out. So I don't think this is going to be a great Clock game. Although if they are played as support, you know, they're going to be pretty squishy. You could just jump on the Venge every single time, try and prevent them from doing anything. I don't think this is going to be a great Clock game. Undying gets picked. With a Venge, you'd probably expect to see like a ranged, hard-hitting carry like a Luna to pair in lane to amplify that damage that she gives. Undying with the snap ban is pretty strong. Timbersaw is still in the pool. That's one counter to the Undying, and you have to think like, okay, is this a core Undying, 3 Undying? Is it support Undying, core Venge? Like Venged Undying is a pretty strong 1/5 pairing lane, and you can counterpick it a little bit. You kind of just have to avoid meleeing them, like just trying to trade blows, because these are pretty hard hitting, tanky heroes. You can try and out sustain them with like a dazzle pick, although you know you kind of have to pick your cores now here because you open up with Clock Line. Yeah, it's pretty open. Of the heroes that Granola plays for the position 1, I don't like Bloodseeker. You want something with good attack speed. You could get like a sniper for Emu, although that's probably got to come last pick in the mid lane. Bloodseeker has decent attack speed, although you really can't fight into this team without BKB, I feel, so it's going to be a pretty slow opening if you go Bloodseeker. Not what you want to do exactly with Flying Clock. You are pretty high tempo. You could do Huskar. Honestly, this is a pretty good Huskar game. You banned a lot of the traditional counters like Razor, Slider, Axe, even Dawn to a little extent, Lifestealer, Drow. Like all these are really good Huskar counters. Juggernaut gets picked, very comfortable here for Granola. You pair it with, I expect, the Lion. Could be Clockwork, although again it's pretty awkward if you run a melee hero with Clockwork. It can work, especially with Juggernaut. If you get him into the cogs, you can do free damage with the Q. Jug can pretty safely hit Tombstone. Jug has a lot of attack speed. You do have to be afraid of the swap, so you can't just free willy push lanes out and then Q and TP away, because the threat of the Venge swap is there to cancel your TP. Also, if Jug ults somebody, the Venge swap can put the Venge in harm's way and take the Omni. Tide comes out. Yeah, it's a Never Dimitri here, so it's not, when you see him play commonly, it's not very high attack speed. It is very difficult to deal with. It's a strong defensive counter to what's probably going to be a Venge Undying lane. because those heroes just don't do much through the Kraken shell. They're all right clicks, so Tide pretty tanky versus that strategy. So Tide is just a little bit awkward, I feel, with the clockwork. Not a whole lot of combos there. You can kind of gush to give the negative armor, so Glock does a little bit more of the trade. But I expect the game plan to be, Clock's not going to want to be laning versus Venge Undying. That's kind of def lane for him. So you get a couple of levels and you start rotating. You go top, go after the Rubik if this is support Rubik. Leave the Tidehunter alone versus Venge Undying. He's probably going to be fine down there. Until, they start maxing out their magic damage options. Necrophos gets picked up. AA still in the pool. Would be an okay AA mid game. I don't know if he even plays it. That would counter Necro Undying pretty hard. Not so much the Venge. It's very squishy, and they do have options to get the AA towards you. Necro is also a counter versus Huskar. So if they were planning to go Huskar, this might now be a little more sus. Because, you blink in, you ult in, you're half HP, Necro just ults you, you die. Like, it can happen, especially if you get Mage Slayer. If you're hitting the Necro, you get Mage Slayer on him, it's not going to do that much damage. It can work. It's not the hardest of counters, but it is still a pretty hard counter. Flector Fox picks up Muerta. That is a Huskar counter. So is Flactory thinking that this isn't a 1 Venge? I feel like it's pretty obvious this is a 1 Venge. You go Venge Undying, safe lane, Rubik, and either a 3 or the Necro off lane, then you're mid. Viper Puck ban, so 9-inch Magenta Fantasy thinking that they haven't seen the mid yet, which I would expect that. I don't think this is going to be a line mid. Quap gets banned. Interesting bans by Flactory Fox. I wonder what they're trying to protect here with their final pick. The 9-inch Magenta Fantasy has the penultimate pick. I feel like they lack damage on this team. They don't really have great ways to damage heroes to get them and kill threshold for Necro. Quap was a good ban to prevent that. I could see stuff like Lina, maybe a sniper. There's some kind of high damage, glass cannon essentially that you can protect with the Rubik Venge. I go with Tiny. Tiny can do burst, especially if he has a good lane, but Flactor Fox is getting the last picks. I'm not sure if this is a mid-Tiny, I'm not sure how much of a good lane he's going to have. Like, you do get that magic burst, but as soon as the Radiant gets items, defensive items, I feel like the draft of 9-inch Magenta Fantasy falls apart. They lack damage. They have a little bit of tower push with Tiny, so they don't really have great ways to kind of press the early game advantage of their heroes. I feel like the strategy is try and win lanes and then 5-man snowball. But they don't have great tower pushers, so I don't see how how easy it's going to be to push towers. Coddle last pick. Factory Fox recognizing that 9-inch Magenta Fantasy doesn't really have like a traditional carry, not really good late game. They go with Coddle. Coddle's a lane dominator and can easily counter push waves, counter push 5-men. And you can delay the game to give your Tide and Juggernaut time to get plenty of items and counter this draft. I feel like the draft favors Factory Fox. 9-inch Magenta Fantasy just feels like they don't have the winning lanes. I feel like whatever lane Undying is in is probably going to win, but Core's Little Ninja. Wasn't the Core's Little Ninja a 4? We're going to see. I'm not sure. I don't know any of the players on 9-inch Magenta Fantasy, so I'm not sure exactly what the lanes are going to be. I'm going to hold judgment on what the laning phase is going to be like until we get into the game. But yeah, just from a pure draft perspective, I think Factory Fox has better late game, and they have good defensive options to get the late game. So we're going to see. That is a sick Undying skin. Very WoW-esque. Any other cool skins? Lion's skin is pretty cool. my smart camera ready to go. So take a little water break. Pretty good win rate as Venge. Alright, what do we got? So for Team Dire, looks like that's probably a support Rubik, core Venge, core Tiny, support Undying. Okay, so support Rubik and Undying. Good luck, have fun next week. Not sure what that means. Radiant is going to be smoking up to an aggressive play into Dire's side of the map. They're going to be taking over the top jungle. Not putting any wards down, just kind of hunting, looking around. Dire is just chilling under their mid towers. Might be expecting some kind of rotation. I feel like Radiant's level 1 is a bit stronger than Dire's, unless Undying goes like Tombstone in a really good spot, and so the zombies are spawning everywhere. Because you have like Spin, you have Blast, you have the Cogs or the Q. Looks like Clockwork went the Cogs. We're probably going to have a fight here. They don't have any wards down, so they can't see any of these heroes come in. But if they stick around, which looks like they're separating. Yeah, Jug is going to be able to get this top rune. It's going to be a 2 for 2 for the banner runes. No blood being spilled at all. Lion running mid, looking for the ward. Ooh, the ward's just up there. Stella might see it on the way up. Does. Turns around, goes for it. And Tiny's not going to contest that. Alright. So lane-wise, we have Undying support, position 1 Necrophos versus a 4 Tiny, or 4 Clockwork 3 Tide Hunter. I feel like Necro Undying just shreds this lane. It's 2 anti-melee heroes versus 2 melee heroes, so I feel like this is going to be pretty bad for Team Radiant here in this top lane. In the mid lane, Caudle versus Tiny. This is just probably going to be a dead lane for Tiny. Tiny doesn't have great regen or ways to dodge the blasts, and this Caudle's just going to keep blasting the wave over and over. He's going to need a quick bottle to try and keep the sustain up to survive that lane, but should be Caudle favored all the way. Let's get last hits up here. And bottom lane, Rubik Venge versus Lion Jug. This is probably a bit more even down here. So 3 Venge, core Venge. Yeah, if the Jugger's ever able to get on top of either of these heroes with a stun, I feel like it's pretty easy to kill either of the Dire offlaners. Top laner tried to get pretty low. Clock came over to assist. Hitting with those cogs. That is really nice cog work by Crash there. Oh, we missed first blood. Yeah, it looks like the Lion stun, Juggernaut Q, they're just able to get Rubik there. As I gotta pay more attention to the health bars, but first blood going to Stella, a support, so not the end of the world. Top lane Undying. It's kind of the power of Undying. You can kind of just man up versus 2 melee heroes. Oh man, the cog work. It's so nice. Yeah, this is gonna be def lanes in like every single lane. I gotta be pretty proactive with looking around at these lanes, looking at the HP bars, kind of seeing where everybody is. So apologies for I'm gonna be talking a little bit less as I pay more attention, trying not miss any kills. Last hit so far. Oh, bottom lane line does go down. Looks like telekinesis from Rubik put him a little bit out of position. Juggernaut holding that Q might have been a little bit out of position there. Unable to get on top of this Rubik, although Rubik's playing very aggressively. So 1 for 1 in the bottom lane. It's the only lane that's seen blood thus far. Lotus is coming up. Radiant is probably in a position bottom lane to go grab it, but they're just going to give it up. Jug sees a kill on the Rubik, decides not to dive the tower. Lion's right there. Got to be careful of the Wave of Terror. You kind of lose these trades with the negative armor. Although Jug has a lot of base armor, is able to Fairy Fire up, do a lot of damage, get 2 kills. Very nicely done. Just not really respecting the amount of base armor, I guess. Level 2 wave armor. Or Wave of Terror. You know, -4 armor, but Jug is still pretty tanky even with that. Got those Fairy Fires, got the... Does he have a stick? Yeah, had the stick as well, so... Could heal up and trade pretty effectively. You know, I don't see Caudle actually in lane that much. Caudle seems to be coming into the jungle and stacking. Trying to get these big stacks. Letting Tiny free farm for the most part. Kind of interesting. I would have expected him to stay more into the mid lane, try and own this Tiny, but Tiny's just allowed to get free farm. All cores pretty even as Undying is getting hit top. He drops the Tombstone, and Radiant decides to focus down the Tombstone instead of get the kill. Necro's going to come over, get the Death Pulse off on Clockwork. And I guess they just ran out of magic damage on Team Radiant. Tiny coming over, drops the ward down, wants to take these camps. Lion is coming over as these two fight over these. Clock has TP'd as well, so this Tiny is in... He's going to be in a world of hurt. Although Clock does not have Battery Assault. They need to save 1 stun. Cog, you got the Cog. It's the only way. He uses it. Cog comes out, cancels the TP. They just got to walk with the Tiny. They got to stun. This is burning so much time, though. This is 3 heroes chasing the Tiny. And the consequence of this is the Juggernaut is really not able to farm. And the Tide, he's able to farm under tower, but taking a lot of damage for it. So yeah, Tiny does go down, kind of disrupts the stacks being taken. But there was a cost to that. Do you put the... Oh my god, sorry. If you want the answer why the minimap is on the right side, it's because it's easier for me to move my cursor down right. Like hand movement, it's a lot more awkward to do down left. So it's a very slight tactile thing. So Tiny did put that ward in the jungle, so he will know if Caudle is trying to take the stacks. Top lane, a lot of nice cog work coming out. 3 cogs coming out, burning this Necrophos's mana, though he has Lotus and Stick. And this Clockwork is going to be run down. Tide not able to really do anything. Too low HP, no resources. They dropped the Tomb for it as well. And it's just the danger of this top lane, right? Necrophos and Undying, it's 2 melees. Like, it's just so hard to beat that sustain. You just don't do enough damage. Rubik has rotated mid. We have an Illusion Rune on Tiny. Tiny's coming over to disrupt the stacks. You got a... I think it's a 4 times. No, I think it's a 3 times in there. Caudle is going to ult up and try and bring down these disrupting Dire heroes. A little bit of a ward fight going on. Lion's coming over. The stun should be enough. It's kind of hard to fight Caudle once he gets level 6. He just slows you infinitely and chain illuminates you infinitely. As the courier reveals Tiny TPing away back to the mid lane. Trying to delay this Caudle is probably... We have to fight top, actually. I'll get back to that. Clockwork has learned his lesson, does not want to stand on it. Ooh, they get on it right at the last second, but we have TPs coming in. Lion and Caud are both coming in. They're going to have to stand on this horrible this horrible duo if they want to keep the Wisdom, though. Cog's coming out, pushing the heroes off the Wisdom Shrine, pushes Undying actually onto the high ground. Lion will fall. There's a lot of zombies now hitting the Caudle. They might just be able to run him down. Yep, they do. The kills gave Necro the 6. And that is going to be a triple kill for the Pause 1 Necrophos. So they lost it. They didn't get the Wisdom, but they got the triple kill on that Pause 1. Meanwhile, Jug just alone down here. Rubik has stayed to bully this Jug repeatedly. Jug, only 30 CS, is down there with the Tiny and Tide. In terms of CS. Coddle has had cogs. Could have maybe made a play on the rune there, but decides not to go for it. Didn't have vision of the rune, so needed to visibly face check that before deciding what to do. Dying is scouting out stacks. They're doing a lot of stacks here on Radiant. I guess it makes sense with the Tide, the Jug, and the Coddle. Any of them can really take stacks. Bottom lane, you got a 6 Venge for 6 Juggernaut. 18 denies on the Venge. That's why they're same level, even though Rubik's been down here soaking as well. All these rotations. Oh no, the Omni goes immediately to the creeps. Unable to do much damage with that. Lion gets one more stun off. One more right click will kill him. Tiny comes down here with the haste. Juggernaut out of mana for spells. At the W if he had any kind of mana left, but we have a Coddle coming down. But the Undying's here as well. Drops the Tombstone. Ooh, big damage on the Lion. With the swap, brings him down. Coddle's out of position. This is how you kill the Coddle. You just slow him. Undying zombies, just hard to deal with. Tree Toss comes out, brings down the Coddle. As Ravage was used to little effect. They did bring down Venge. All 3 of them, but it was a 1 for 3. And gold obviously favoring Dire there. Juggernaut's like, I've had enough of this lane. I'm going top, and oh my goodness, there's a Necro there. Maybe not. Goes to the... looking to go to Triangle, maybe get some of the stacks, but instead turns around. In terms of items, looks like Tiny has gotten that Soul Ring working towards Blink Dagger, or at least has queued it up. They've rotated, they've actually swapped lanes on the Tide and the Jug. Brought the Tide bottom to deal with this Vengeful Spirit, who's been hitting like a truck, but should not do that much versus Tide. Well, I say that, but if you miss your E on Tide and you don't have any mana, it's a little dangerous. This Venge is going to pull out a swap here in a second, probably once the Magic Missile comes out. No? She's fallen. She has the Wave of Terror, misses it, doesn't have vision for the swap. We do have a bit of a fight in the mid. Looks like Coddle didn't have ult for the Soulbind, so Dying gets away. Yeah, if that Wave of Terror had connected and given vision, probably would have been a dead Tide there. Maybe worried about TP rotations. That was a pretty prolonged chase. Rehearsed response. It's literally the truth. Jug has Omni. If I were Radiant, I'd probably want to be using that somewhere. Maybe not top, but yeah, you probably want to be getting net worth on your heroes at this point. Speaking of net worth, we have Necro with all those kills well and above everybody else. 6,300 at 11 minutes. As the swap comes out, Lion just a little bit out of position. 3 Dire heroes rearing their ugly heads down here. Will bring down Stella on the Lion. Following the Necro, you have Venge with 5k, Coddle and Jug 4.3. And Tide kind of having a bad time. Did not have a good lane versus that Necro Undying. Looks like Jug just gets a little bit caught out of position. Does not respect the Reaper Scythe. Gets chipped down and scythed down. We have an Axe Rush on the Venge. Necro has the Radiance at 11 minutes. Actually, he had it at like 9 minutes because he already has another 1,000 gold. Holy moly, this Necro is farmed. Look at that net worth spike up. And we got Dire rotations in the Radiant bottom jungle, kind of taking over this part of the map, preventing Radiant from really farming. And this is exactly what they have to be doing with this kind of early game draft. They want to be taking over space, preventing Radiant heroes from farming. And just, slowly choking them out of gold. We have a hookshot in by Clockwork, separates the Undying from the Rubik. Undying swaps out the, pulls out the Tombstone. Rubik did the, stole the power cogs. It's not really going to help much. Clock is likely going to go down here, tossed by the Tiny, throwing that Necrophos onto Clock. That's when you know you're having a bad day. As yeah, just Playing around mid, more rotations. The bottom tower was taken, so now all Dire's playing around mid. They want to be taking this mid tower, kind of choking off more space for this Radiant side. Meanwhile, top Radiant are getting a tier 1 tower in return for this. Dire decided not really to force the issue on this mid tower. They are fighting into Ravage and a Coddle, so the counter push is pretty strong. This Necro probably feels absolutely immune, just pushing bottom wave tier 2 all by himself. Has that early Radiance, not enough damage on the side of Radiant to really put any pressure on this guy, unless they're all there. I guess you do have the Lion Finger. Speaking of, we do have a smoke plate bottom. Necro might be feeling a little pressure. It goes top, he's showing top, so the smoke was ineffective. They don't know that the Venge is down here though. Coddle might see it. Venge does not show in wave, so Coddle is just going to be alone down here, pushing the wave out. As the Venge farms nearby. Counter smoke now by Dire on the Rubik, Undying, and Tiny. They run in. They're going to find a Keeper of the Light. Toss combo, Avalanche combo. Getting quite damaged. Blinding Bast. He's running away with a toss on the zombie. Brings that Coddle down. Yeah, it just feels like the timings aren't there for Radiant. Like, Coddle probably wants to be fighting at this point. You got that Spirit Vessel. You got bots. You can be fighting. But you play a Ravage and Finger, I guess. It just feels a little bit awkward, right? Like, you don't really have sustained damage. You just have, like, massive burst damage. Like, this Tide can't really be sitting on top of people with his Anchor Smash and just doing that over and over, right? Like, it's really just the Coddle that's going to be doing all the heavy lifting damage-wise right now. They're in a lull item-wise to be able to apply sustained damage. Top Necro getting cogged up by the Clockwork. Absolutely masterful. We did have, I think that was 3 TP rotations. Yeah, 3 heroes missing their TPs up top to defend this Necro. Now smoke out. I like the smoke. They have all their spells on Radiant, although they do so on Dire as well. Maybe not Tombstone. Yeah, Tombstone never 10 seconds. They find the Necrophos. Ooh, Spike just barely hits on the Necro. Coddle Blast, Illuminate, gonna bring this Necro down. That's gonna be a huge kill. Tons of gold. Cogs, giving vision, keeping Dire away from any kind of save. And if she was in position, maybe could have swapped. But with the tiny mid, they just didn't really want to commit the fight. Although now Keeper of the Light is in a little bit of danger. Tiny, no Avalanche, used it on the wave. Tide's here now, has Ravage. Undying gets tossed in on top of the Coddle. Coddle is not having a fun time. We'll keep chasing Coddle. He's going to get out. Sorry about that. We move over. Venge does go down. Omni used on the Tiny. That's going to bring him down. Big kills. This is a great fight for Radiant. Venge swap kills the Lion. It's a 3 for... I was going to say 1 for 3, but now it's 2 for 3 as the clock does go down. Juggernaut's heal has the shield rune. Undying walks into a cog. That might bring him low enough to die. Getting very low. Has the stick. Blast does a little bit of damage. Illuminate holding at the very end. Kills the Rubik. Undying gets out of there though. Avenge just hanging around full HP. Everybody's ignoring her. One last hit on right click on the Undying brings him down. Magic Missile is only level 2, so not enough damage to kill the Tiny. Necro's here though with the Radiance, gets the double kill. Core's little ninja runs in. This should be a dead fight now. They might be able to get the Venge, but with the Necro here and not enough spells to bring him down, no Coddle. It's just an absolute mess of a fight here. More heroes TPing in. Swap comes in on the Clockwork. Necro comes onto the Tide, brings him down. We're following the clock now. He's the only one on Radiant alive. Hookshot comes out. No TP though. Necro TPing to the wave to counter him. Oh, he's doesn't actually go up to chase. Clock should be getting out of there fine. What an absolute mess of a fight. I don't even think this was everybody, I think, because like Clock definitely died, Tiny definitely died. It doesn't show Necro dying at the start of that, but very, very sloppy fight. I think basically everybody died in that. And I'm not sure how to... This shows Dire as being in the lead. Looks like Dire came out of it ahead in gold. Maybe slight Radiant favored in the middle of that, but just the Necro came in, got those 2 kills, and it was just over at that point. I guess that's one way of looking at it. The Necro was the big winner of that fight. Came in, got 2 kills, and is working towards his Lotus, which is pretty good Lotus game. A lot of spells to reflect. DD Tiny, curious to see if they do anything with that. As Juggernaut's pushing out top, looks like Rubik and Venge have smoked up. They're taking the portal top. They want to kill this Juggernaut. You gotta hold swap for the when the Juggernaut spins, or you just wait until he spins. In which case you have multiple spells to cancel it, but Jug's just gonna walk to the tower and tie TPs and chase away these arranged Dire heroes, keep them away from the Juggernaut. Tide is not having the best farm this game. Pretty poor, only 6,300 CS. It's just been a result of Dire really squeezing out the map, preventing any kind of preventing Radiant's cores from farming effectively. Undying pick found bottom. Emu picks it up, getting a nice little bit of gold on that mid laner. Brings him a little bit back into the race. With another portal rotation by the 2. Clock sees this, will be in position with the cogs. Rubik has a Juggernaut spin, so will not be getting cogged. Venge taking the brunt of this. She does have Ags. She gets pushed to the low ground. Hookshot comes in, holds him in place. DD tinier though. It's the last seconds of a DD, but that's going to be just enough to kill that Necro. Now Necro's here, or kill Coddle. Necro's here now, and that's going to be the end of that, as Clock doesn't have any points in queue. That's kind of crazy. Blink Tiny. He's getting warded away by the cogs, but he's going to have a blink toss here in a second. Chooses not to use it. And yeah, where'd the line die? Line must died right here. Dire's in position for Torm. Venge is a little low. Rubik needs to come over here and tank. I don't think the Venge survives if he doesn't. Ooh, that rocket flare comes in. Swap comes out, has the shield for Venge. And that'll be shard going to Rubik. The telekinesis. That's a very powerful shard this game. You can get people yourself or people out of the cogs. Although Cluck hasn't really been using cogs to lock down people this game. Especially no points in queue, which is kind of insane. It's more so... He's been using it more so to just cog people by right-clicking them, using it as an offensive option. Seems a little dangerous. Tiny could go on Tiny or Clock at this point and not... What the hell is the fish? Oh, I think that's Tidehunter's innate. You get like a... Yeah, you get permanent bonuses if you eat the fish. Interesting. Dire are positioned mid. No tier 1 towers to take. You could go for Roche. It is top. I don't think Radiant wins a fight up there. They don't really have... They have a couple of good AoEs. But versus like Necro, Tiny, Tombstone, it's pretty dangerous to contest the Roshan. They don't really have great Roche takers though online in Magenta Fantasy. I realize now, so just not really great tower push, not really great objective take. They really need this Tiny to bulk up to be able to do that. Dire are all pushing bottom tier 2. Venge is down there still pushing. So Radiant is top. They're looking for a pick off on this Necro. They might find the Tiny here. Gonna break smoke. Is not able to blink away. Lion gets the Hex out. Nobody's TPing thus far. Necro is here though. This is pretty dangerous. These two heroes. They're gonna be able to bring down the Coddle. But Tiny does go down. We're finally having TP rotations here. Undying comes in, drops ult, drops Tombstone. Necro is probably unkillable. Ravage comes out. Ooh, the stuns is enough. You get the crit. Bring that Necro down. This fight is now looking really great for Radiant. Sorry, I thought I saw somebody down there. We have Undying go down, instantly respawns. Rubik kills the clock. My camera work was all over the place that fight. I apologize. At the end of that, though, Necro going down, Tiny going down. Very good trade, even with the Kato going down. That definitely claws back some of the gold they were getting disadvantaged of. Which is exactly what they need. They need to be winning these like small skirmishes, getting picks, slowing the game down, in order to dying right there with a Rubik behind. They want to be delaying the game as much as possible, because if this Jug is able to get some items, you get that Nullifier, which I think that's the next item he's going for. Ecker is going to be easy pickings. DD bottom with Tiny. Curious to see if they make a play with that. Caudle has gone Orchid. Jug just going standard. Battle Fury, Manta. And soon to be Nullifier deal with the Necrophos. Venge after Ags is going one Specialist Array and going Yasha next. Probably going to be a SNY or a Manta. It's a pretty decent Manta game. Although with you go Ags Venge, you kind of just want raw stats to try and buff up your illusion as much as possible. Necro after getting Lotus appears to be going Heart. Caudle already has a Spirit Vessel to counter that, but if you're not able to burst him down, you don't really have the sustained damage. It's going to be really hard to kill that hero once he gets the Heart. Caudle, very low HP. Only 1400 playing mid. He can get bursted very quickly if this Tiny especially is in the area. With that DD, not going to survive. Able to get out of there though. Dire are mid. You can feel they want to be pushing, but they just didn't build really the draft to do that. Like Tiny was kind of a last-ditch effort to add some push to this draft. But like they really needed something like a TA or a Clinks or something, just raw tower damage for the negative armor. Something that can hit towers a lot earlier than what a Tiny can do, especially with like the Phylactery magic damage build Tiny. Dire still hanging around the mid tower. Tidehunter's just chilling, soaking the creeps. Wants to be the target if they do go on anybody. Necro's DPing bottom. Bottom lane, they almost got Emu. He's able to get out of there. Jug pops the Omni instantly. Realizes he doesn't have the damage to kill the Tiny, especially the Necro being able to heal. Tiny's actually going to blink in immediately after. Manta comes out, but not enough. And Jug will go down to the Reaper Scythe. We have a swap up here onto, I believe, the Lion. Ooh, Telekinesis stuns up the Lion. That's going to be enough to bring him down. And Tiny's going to blink into base now, tossing people out. Beautiful blink toss. May cost him his life. Yep. As the Lion committed finger for that kill. We might have an Undying here now. I think he was blinding lighted up onto the high ground. Way out of position. We have another buyback by the Lion here, and the Cogs are pushing the Necro back into base. He's about to run into a third one. It just goes down. Hookshot misses on the Rubik. Nice buybacks by the supports there that just completely nullified the push of Dire. Excellent counterplay there. Just a little. They have to play aggressive and greedy, but that was a little bit too greedy for Dire, just going into base like that. You got the toss off, yeah, but when you do that, you open yourself up to getting blinding lighted and buyback Clockwork clogs you. You can't do anything. Lion stuns you up. You're getting hit by the tier 3 tower the whole time. Strata drops a ward down. Dying, not dewarding it. So they're gonna have vision of this Dying here. I've not been paying attention to the Wisdom runes at all, but Wisdom is coming up, the 28-minute one. Doesn't seem like either team is too interested in being there for it. Dire still wants to maintain this aggressive posture and try and absorb more of the map space, but these cores are getting items. Caudle, very close to Octarine, will give him a lot of needed HP. Has that Orchid, very tanky hero. As I miss a never kill, Rubik looks like, yeah, just got line comboed as he was down there farming those creeps. Dire did come over here to defend, though. They're in the area. We might have more blood here. A little bit of gold being brought back. It's honestly a pretty close game. It feels like Dire's been leading the way, but that's just the nature of the draft. Like, Necro had a great game. Anytime he comes up to a fight, he pretty much owns it, although they have been able to kill him a couple times. Blunting the pressure. Caudle drops the Spirit Form. Looking for more. Lion is going to blink Hex the Undying. They find him. That's a big kill. No Tombstone for the fight. Does have buyback, though. Clock decides not to go after the Necro, although I'm sure that some of the cores are yelling chase, chase. Caudle going in, still has half duration on that Spirit Form. Swordbind's the Necro, Undying's going to buy back. Omni used with the Nullifier on the Necro. That's going to be doing a lot of damage. Jug's now getting a little bit out of position. Q's coming down. The Tombstone did come down. Now this is looking like a really bad fight. Ravage comes out. But the Tombstone just means that you got to get out of there. Reaper Scythe comes down, ends up being a 3-4 buyback. And they might get another one here. Juggernaut here. No swap on the Venge. They're going to have to let him go. And Roshan, unfortunately, is not bottom. It just became 30 minutes, so Rosh is a walk and top, so they won't be able to transition to that easy objective before Radiant gets up. So they're immediately going to go bottom and try and push that out, get some tower damage down. It's a little difficult to defend this with anybody except Caudle, because if you just show within this range, Venge just swaps you, and you probably get bursted down. Although allies are coming up, you might see they're staying for the full racks. We're going to see if Radiant tries to make them pay for it. Tide TPing in, slow from the rocket flare. Tide getting stunned up. Hookshot onto the Venge. Cogs pushes him back. Telekinesis on the Necro gets him out of the fight. He probably wants to be in the fight. They're going to be able to focus down the Venge. That pops the illusion. As the clock is just throwing out Cogs. Only the Venge has died thus far. Swap now onto the line. Has the Glimmer Cave. Drop the sentry for him. Getting pretty low. Necro just trying to be in the fight. Doing as much damage as possible. Healing Word comes out. Not enough. Jug goes down now. Necro's full HP just running into all of them. The Caudle now goes down. Juggernaut buyback. Lion getting very low. Sorry, the clock getting very low. It's going to go down. Lion gets fingers stolen. As we have a anime fight happening as the Juggernaut ulted a Lotus Orb. And yeah, a couple heroes dead for... Oh no, the blink toss by Tiny. No Q on Juggernaut. That might be a game right there. Great awareness by the Tiny, recognizing that Jug had no Q. Just leaps in. They kill the fish? I have no idea what that mechanic is. Is the fish like something... Yeah, enemies can destroy the fish. Okay. Oh, you get a lot of good stats from that. Attack range, bonus damage block. But yeah, excellent awareness by Tiny, realizing Jug had no Q, so just easy jump toss. Correctly predicted where he was going to be. And that's a dieback for Jug. Caudle is up, so they do have Blast. Tiny's just going to do another blink toss, though. Caudle has no defensive options to get him out of there. That is a dead Caudle. Has the buyback. He's probably going to wait for the his other two teammates to respond, though, before going in. Ravage is up. Yep. Waited for the Tide and Clock to come up. Dire do not respect it. They're going to be just sitting here, Meteor Hammer, and top lane Rex. They want the Megas. Tide just coming in, trying to E him up, slow down this push. Has Ravage, holding it for now. Tombstone committed. We have the swap on the Coddle. Gotta protect this Coddle. If he dies, it's over. Clockwork has cogged the Coddle. No more running for him. Able to get out for a second, but dies to the tiny toss. Tide goes down. Clock is the only one remaining for Radiant until 15 seconds pass, in which Jug will be up, but that's not going to be enough. GG is called by Team Granola. And that's going to be it for game 1. Just a big ol' bottom fight. Just bad positioning. They got outmaneuvered by the Tombstone there. Or they played a little bit too aggressively, got tombed, and they could not follow. They couldn't deal with it. They used all their resources at that point. So Tomb really fucked them there. I gotta say, Magenta played very well. Recognizing, item timing is to recognize like the when their heroes are strong. Playing off those timings, they itemized very well. Like they got 2 Lotuses, 1 Radiance. They start just fighting over and over and over, trying to suck up the map. And in the end, they were able to just win those critical team fights at the very end and snowball it to a team victory. Even with the lack of tower damage, if you're just able to kill heroes. I feel like Venge was just so critical for this draft. If they don't have Venge, like their catch is tiny with toss, it's not going to be so reliable, but Venge with the swaps was able to get so many good picks on the Coddle, especially getting him with that die back. And just all around great effort by 9-inch Magenta Fantasy. Anyway, there is a game 2. It's a best of 2. So we're going to take a little break here as I get set up, and we set up the lobby and start that. And so stick around, and we'll see you soon. Alright, let me notify everybody we're starting. Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to Game 2 of Seal Season 2, match between Phylactery Folks and 9 Inch Magenta Fantasy, Jamie vs. Granola. Last game, draft-wise, 9 Inch Magenta Fantasy, which won last game. They decided to do a draft, which was just ban all of Dimitri's heroes and have him have a horrible lane. And worked out pretty well. The Tide was not that impactful that game. There were some good ravages, but it's just very slow, very low net worth. Not able to contribute in the early stages of the game. And kind of ward off this aggression, just fed this Necrophos really hard. Great laning, drafting by 9 Inch Magenta Fantasy. I felt like the Coddle, like the Tiny wasn't an issue, but like one improvement that Phylactery Folks could have made was just have the Coddle sit more in lane and just bully this Tiny away from creeps and just go back and stack camps, you know, as needed, like at the 50-second mark. Like you don't have to like make these massive stacks, because it just kind of messed up Juggernaut's game, because the Tiny went over, like he was free farm, right? So he was getting good farm, but he had the luxury of going over, getting a ward down, messing with the stacks, and that pulled over the Lion, Juggernaut's partner in lane. And Rubik just never left lane. That Rubik and the Ven just sat there and bullied the Jug and prevented him from really taking off. Like they were able to get some kills early on, but just those early rotations by Lion meant that Juggernaut was not able to, you know, do those early rotations, get good omnis off, and kind of catapult his game. And yeah, just clock first pick. It's just so easily countered. You can build an entire draft around it. The cogs were amazing. Like it was still a decent clockwork game, but yeah, I feel like there's stronger heroes that you can pick. First off, 9 Inch Magenta Fantasy does not seem interested in banning that. No, they do the last pick ban it. Gotta eat my own words there. Anyway, this game, what do we have? We have a Necro first ban, Venge first ban, so we're not going to see those heroes this game. And on 9 Inch Magenta Fantasy, same bans overall. Mag is still in the pool. That's a popular Dimitri hero. Axe gets banned, so we're not going to see a clock this game. Lion is picked up by Phylactery Folks again. Pretty decent plays by Lion. Good rotation ability. Once you get your 6, that gives you good damage to bring down high value targets in the early game. So they're going to stick with it. Pretty strong, you know, just all around first pick. Snapfire picked up. Snapfire gets through, I believe. I think Snap was picked or banned second phase last time. She's let through and gets first phase banned. You could see Undying get picked again this game. Undying Snap's pretty nasty, and Snap's the natural counter to Undying. And if you have it on your team, obviously the enemy can't pick it. So we have another Drow ban by Phylactery Folks. And another Axe ban, so I would expect, like, of the heroes that Dimitri plays, I don't know if Mag is good this patch, but Mag is something he plays. Enigma, there's no Rubik, no first pick Rubik, so you could see, Rubik's still in the pool, but you could see like Enigma, Underlord, Mag, any of those big, you know, team fight heroes that have good lane ability. It's gonna be better than, you know, the Tide versus a Necrophos. Grimstroke picked up by Phylactery Folks. You already have a pretty strong combo between the Soulbind and all of Lion's spells. All of them, every single one plays off with the Soulbind. And you especially have that finger, which can do massive damage, especially if they have the Ags upgrade. You know, you can do like two times damage if everybody's caught in the AoEs. But you've shown your opening support hand with those two heroes. It's kind of hard to counter pick them in lane. They're both pretty high damage right click range supports. They give you good magic damage. They give you a lot of options in laning phase in the mid game with all their different disables and silences. It's a pretty strong lane partner. I'm sure there's like counters though, like a Granola Lifestealer. It's probably pretty good versus that. Anything that can go invulnerable, pretty good versus that. You just got to survive the 3-second duration of whatever Soulbind is. Witch Doctor gets picked up. Likely going to be your support duo right there, but Snap could be flexed into a core role. That's the beauty of heroes like Snap and Lion and Benj, is you can pick them early and then throw them in whatever lane looks the best for that game. Witch Doctor, it's very good lane presence. It's good with Snap because you have a lot of magic damage to combo with the Maledict. And Lion Grim is very aggro, and Witch Doctor is very nice as a counter initiate tool. Not so great when you're starting the fight, but like if the enemy team is diving into you, you can just obliterate them with a good Caskey, good Maledict, good ult, because they're already grouping up and they're already using spells before you go in. Like that's the hardest part, is Witch Doctor is trying to get everybody clumped up for your spells to take effects. But if you're doing an aggro opening hand like this on Factory Fox, then it makes your life a little bit easier on Witch Doctor. Just a strong support as well. They go with the Doom. If that is a Doom Witch Doctor lane, that's going to be pretty filthy. Doom, I don't know if last game they picked Rubik to kind of counterban heroes. Doom, I don't think Dimitri plays Doom. I'm sure he can, but just another hero out of the pool for Dimitri. You still got Mag, you still got Underlord, you still got Enigma, which are all pretty decent versus this draft. I expect we're going to see the 3 and the 1 picked here by Phylactery folks. What ones are good versus Doom? There's obviously Dusa, because she doesn't care about not having HP. You can go tanky heroes. Oh, Legion's never a great one. Yeah, that's the hero that Dimitri plays. Legion, good laner. Great, you can do great momentum with the hero. When you rush Blink Dagger, you can run around, force the enemy to feel uncomfortable showing in the lane. And you got good synergy with the supports as well. Grim can double duel. Grim can E the Legion to do a lot of damage. The Q does damage. Lion, obviously, you can finger combo with the Legion to guarantee duel wins in the early game. And it's a Purge, although the Purge isn't... Purge is good versus some of Doom's bullshit. Wraith King, that's a surprising Wraith King pick. I don't really see Granola play Wraith King that much. It is a Doom counter, as you want to Doom the first life or the second life. Pick your poison. That's a hard counter to the hero. It's also a pretty hard counter to these kind of like long cooldown heroes like Witch Doctor and Snapfire. Like they blow their load, they kill Wraith King, and then he comes back. So I'm surprised they picked it. You don't usually see Granola play it. I'm curious to see how comfortable he is playing this hero. And it is a good pick, but we're going to see, especially how laning phase goes. Wraith King's pretty simple. I expect it to be okay. 9-inch Magenta Fantasy goes with the Spectre. That's what you should pick against Wraith King Legion. You just need something very tanky. You don't want like a glass cannon, like a Weaver. You could have gone something like Odie. I guess Weaver if you go like Ags Weaver to try and do save for the duel, but Spectre's decent because you're just a very tanky hero. Like Spectre's one of the heroes that Legion has a hard time dueling and winning versus Spectre just kind of shreds you with all that pure damage, and Spectre usually goes Blade Mill as well. And you got 2 squishy backline heroes for the Spectre to feed on with the Lion and the Grim. You can start a fight, you haunt Radiance that cancels the Lion, Grimstrokes, Blink Daggers. You're able to pick off those heroes and kind of just mess up the initiation that Radiant was trying to do. Not a great laning phase hero. I would say it's a pretty weak laner versus Legion. So you might not see as dominant of a game from the Spectre as the Necro had last game. Bans coming out are Viper and Coddle. from 9-inch Magenta Fantasy. So they're expecting Phylactery Fox to pick a mid, which I would agree with. Phylactery Fox, they ban Earth Spirit. Probably thinking that it's going to be a mid last pick. What does 9-inch Magenta Fantasy need? They have pretty good stun. They got 3 heroes that can stun. They got good late game. Got good vision. They don't have the greatest catch. They don't have any catch at all, basically. It's just Doom running at people and snap Ags eventually. So you could pick up something like a... Is Venge banned? Yeah, Venge is banned. Like a Puck with the ult to hold people down. If this is like a mid Snapfire, you can do like last pick Disruptor. That's good catch to chase these heroes down. Like any kind of AoE disable is really strong to combo with the Witch Doctor. Kind of keep them locked down there. I could see, it would be crazy, is maybe like an Underlord. Pause one. If they were thinking of picking Puck, it is banned, so that's not an option anymore. But something like an Underlord. They only have 30 seconds to think over their pick. But I would love to see some kind of AoE lockdown to keep people in place for the Snapfire and the Witch Doctor. You have pretty good damage already. You don't need damage. Lockdown or catch. Any kind of hero that does that. Puck was perfect for it, along with Earth Spirit. Storm could work. Storm's not great versus Wraith King Legion. He's good versus the supports though. Although you gotta be careful with the Beetle hitting you. Silence Beetle. Shadow Demon. So probably a mid Snapfire. Shadow Demon does lock heroes down. You can Q set up, you can ult Demonic Purge, and that slows, I believe, even through BKB, as it's undispellable. And are there purgables this game? You can purge, I think the E from Grimstroke is purgeable. But that is a catch hero. It's not an AoE catch hero like I was expecting. I feel like 9-inch Magenta Fantasy just has issues with locking people in place for the Snapfire Witch Doctor ults. I assume this is a position 1 Snapfire. Lena last pick. Strong laning hero, comfort hero for Emu. Now you have, the finger and the, oh god, what is it called? Laguna Blade combo with the Soulbind's just massive damage. You really got to avoid getting Grimstroke Soulbind. Oh, you know what the Shadow Demon is for? It's for the Q. It's for the save for Legion. And you can also Q the Spectre, and it's very strong. It's a strong combo with it. Yeah, so I expect this to be a core Snapfire and support with Shadow Demon. I really like this, actually. This is like a good drafting strategy by 9-inch Magenta Fantasy. You can see the entire draft, and then you can counterpick it with a good support pick, like a good save or catch or whatever else you need. And then use one of those early heroes that can flex. You use that as your laner. You might not have a strong laning phase, but the enemy wasn't expecting that swap. So it's not likely going to be that hard of a counterpick, especially if you... Nice cock. Especially if you, pick a strong hero. That's just overall strong, like Snapfire Revenge. Anyway. Last hits to Nyes. Press K. I said press K. There we go. Game 2 underway. As we have another smoke play by Team Radiant, who are on the same side as they were game 1. This is kind of a late smoke, so you expect them to make a extended play into Dire's side of the map. Last game, Radiant had the better level 1, so Dire kind of held back, played under their towers, didn't really show. Might have something similar here, as Radiant probably feel like they're aggressive. Lion is going to break smoke. Has the Q, but chooses not to use it. And that's going to all but reveal that all of Radiant is there for Dire, so they're immediately gonna come down here, put a ward down, and play for the bottom runes. How many viewers are we up to now? 4 whole viewers, wow. This feels popular. Once again, no blood being spilled for the runes. Both sides just take their 2 runes. And we're backing off. We have a lot of heroes up here. Apologies for yawning. We have a lot of heroes up here to maybe deal with a Spectre. Spectre just sitting under tower. Yeah, it looks like again the range creep. This is definitely going to be a this is going to be patched out. These creeps are going to be invulnerable on this first wave. That's so annoying. Because the wave pushes in naturally to the tower, you get the XP uncontested. It's just free. Like, you're a little bit out of position, or you can counterplay with more heroes, but most of the time it's free. Anyway, laning phase. Maledict onto the Legion. This actually might be a little dangerous. Witch Doctor is taking a lot of damage from the creeps. Getting very low. Grim's looking. Oh, just missed with that. That might have been a lot of damage. We're gonna stay up here. I think this is a dead Witch Doctor, because the Witch Doctor can't kite in the trees. Oh, the Grimstroke went for the Tango. I think that would have been a dead Witch Doctor. Alright. Stay focused. Top lane. Legion, Grim versus Spectre, Witch Doctor. It's very dangerous with a Witch Doctor on lane, but I feel like this is Radiant favorite up here. A lot of very good damage. Legion doesn't like the pure damage, especially from Spectre. You just gotta stay in creeps to avoid it. As Crash just blows up the wave. I feel like that's Legion Grim favor though. As long as you're not going crazy and getting, you know, maledicted and all that. Mid lane Snap, Lina. This is probably a, you know, even depending on player skill. Whoever's higher skill probably wins this. I think the heroes are very evenly matched. Anything up here? We have a Grim going full combo onto Spectre, Witch Doctor. Legion comes up with a big Q. Should be fine though. It's bottom lane. Shadow even getting low. A lot of death almost happening in all the lanes. Like, look at that top bar. Everybody's very low. I am all but assuredly going to miss first blood here. But yeah, mid lane, kind of a toss up. Bottom lane, Shadow Demon Doom. You have a good catch for the Doom. Doom loves it when a support can, you know, put heroes in position for Doom to get on top of. Wraith King Lion, they're pretty killable. Doom's a pretty strong laner. Oh, the Wraith King Lion is also pretty strong. I'd say bottom's a wash as well. Whether who wins is kind of just technical, which side plays better. No first blood thus far. Both mids going for the bottles. As Lotuses go 1 for 1 each side. Lion getting poked a little bit by the level 1 Shadow Poison. Top lane, I expect top to be the site of most of the kills. Just because there's so much magic damage in this lane. Bottom lane Lion gets caught out of position, will be brought down. Shadow goes down, giving Doom the first blood gold bounty. Not sure how you get out of position there. You were up here. I feel like Doom is better than Wraith King, like in a 1v1. So if the supports ever go away, I feel like the Wraith King can't really lane that effectively. Doom has pretty good AoE to deal with the skeletons. Sorry, missed the kill on Witch Doctor. I was looking at denies over on this side. Snapfire actually winning last. It's pretty heavily with 9 denies versus the Lena's 0 denies. Might actually see go on Spectre. Slow down. Grimstroke backs. No mana. It doesn't matter. Spectre man's up. Probably could have just kept running. It would have been fine, but goes down. We'll come back with full mana. Meanwhile, bottom, Wraith King did go down. They get the pickup kill on Doom, although Wraith King wasn't there. Actually, I think the skeletons killed the Shadow Demon. That's pretty funny. Mid lane, we have Snapfire, dodge, and everything's happening all at once here as Lina just one under tower gets taunted up. Meanwhile, Legion gets maledicted, is not going to pop. As we have a low Grimstroke up here now. Crash getting low. We have a Legion coming over to try and defend, but just a little bit too low HP. We have a TP up here by Snap. This is a pretty early TP rotation. Cancels it. Was not stunned in the top lane. Still have the Q. Uses it, but Legion is just a little bit too fast, too tanky, able to get away. Yeah, looks like mid is actually going to Snapfire. Just denies and CS wise. The 2-1s are fairly even. The 2-3s are also fairly even, though the Doom has a lot more denies. The deny war is definitely favoring Dire here. Lion will be going down. Very squishy hero if you ever get caught up by the Doom. He will kill you. Bot mid lane, looks like there was a return kill by the Lina, able to kill the Snapfire once he got to level 6. So we're trying to follow the action here. Five for 5, pretty skirmishy laning phase, not really favoring anybody thus far. We have Alina Haste running bottom. Wraith King's going to start the fight onto Doom. Doom is sticking around. He wants to fight this. They're probably going to bring down Wraith King, but he's going to have that Wraith form. Lina's almost here. Uses the Q. And we'll be able to bring down this Doom as recompense for that Wraith King dying. There was also extreme blood happening top. What the hell happened up here? Snapfire rotated. Snapfire rotated, used Mortimer's Kisses to kill the entire Radiant offlane up there, as that was happening. Yep, there he goes. Literally just Mortimer's Kisses. Looks like Radiant may have gone in and got punished. We have Alina top, looking to get this Spectre. Legion doesn't have 6 for a little while. Crash used the E on the Siege Catapult, so will not follow, but it doesn't matter as Lina's there. Has enough damage to bring down that Spectre. Bottom lane, they killed the Wraith King once again. This is not looking good for Radiant. This Wraith King keeps dying without being around for XP. He's getting gold, but like if we look at net worth here for a second, you can see just he's keeping up, but it's not the game you want. Like, Wraith King is supposed to be a strong laner. He's just not having the game he wants to have. All of those Kasky bounces went on the creeps. That is unfortunate. Crash is going to get the double stun off. We might have a wraparound. We have a TP rotation by Lion. It has just been a bloodbath these first 8 minutes. Get a turnaround, nice spike by Stella, kills the Witch Doctor. We have another TP rotation though. Shadow Demon's here now. Although it's just a Shadow Demon, so you know, what do you really do at this stage of the game? Really got to get your 6 before you can kill things. Get those purges. Wraith King is just trying to bully this Doom out of lane, but the opposite is happening as Doom is just gonna Doom up Wraith King, has no 6. Yeah, they run around. There's stuff happening mid. I really want to go over to that, but I want to see if... Yeah, there's no Doom, so no stuns, so they're not getting that. In the mid lane, they do pick off a Shadow Demon. So, again, 1 for 1. Oh, this Wraith King has died 4 times in lane, only has 31 CS at 9 minutes. So, not having a good game. This is very similar to last game. The Jug was left alone in the bottom lane because the Lion had to go over to contest the tiny taking the stacks, and so just the Juggernaut Granola was not really able to have a fun time and elevate his game as he wanted to. They're going to be able to bring down this snap just before Lena goes down, but it's a mega kill streak going to Spectre. That's definitely favoring Dire there. Although Lena did get the XP for that kill. Witch Doctor just got ult, so I'd expect him to try and use that. Might see a play here, actually. No, Witch Doctor knew he was on a ward, dewarded it. Legion's right there, runs in, has the duel, chooses not to use it with the Snapfire right there. Although you did have the Lion, maybe that should have been a duel. Spectre is alone top, free farming. Doom is getting very fat and wealthy down here at the bottom lane, as Radiant are trying to make this this play happen. We have a smoke out by Dire in the mid lane. They are running bottom. They want to punish this Wraith King. He should be close to 6. Already has it, actually. Not sure if this is the pick you want to go for. I mean, Granola is already having a really bad game on this Wraith King. Like, you're risking having a bunch of TPs come down here. Everybody has TP except Lion. They're already TPing heroes down here. They're actually going to go on the Doom. Doom was playing very aggro. Mortimer's Kisses does come out. They're able to burst the Doom down. Witch Doctor gets stunned, unable to drop the ult just yet. Double Laguna comes out. Double duel. Oh, this could be massive. Double duel on the Legion. Love to see it. Plus 20 damage. Only 20 damage. It's kind of crazy. Granola also getting the double kill. Didn't even have to use his ult in that fight. That was an incredible turn. It just shows you the power of having Soulbind with this much combo. Double spike growth, double bug, double Laguna, double finger. Like, it's crazy. What the hell is this AI? Get out of here, AI. I'm gonna leave it on this guy for a second, and I gotta kill this AI bug. Get out of here, nerd. There we go. Lena top, trying to keep the Spectre from just free farming. Radiant supports her in their own bottom jungle. Might be aware of these big stacks inside the triangle, but there are wards outside to show if they try and contest them. And we have a bit of a rare lull here in this game. Legion saving up for Blink Dagger. It's going to have it in about a minute. They're going to drop Demonic Purge onto Legion, but they may not have been on the same page here. Legion expertly dodging almost all of those kisses. Top lane we have a rotation by the supports. They were spotted by Spectre. Lion is still... Ooh, Spike Growth very end. They're using their spells on different targets, but they have enough damage where it doesn't matter. Witch Doctor gets a very nice ult off. It's actually going to survive full duration. Kill both those supports. Doom has rotated meanwhile. And Doom's up to Lena. Lena's pretty fast though. Has the 7 stacks. Cookie comes out. Gets purged, but at this point, Lena's taken so much damage. He stays alive, but this runs right into a Shadow Demon. And the last Scatter Blast will bring down that Lena. They do see a double stack on the Ancients. Don't know if that's big enough for Dire to want to contest that. Bottom lane, Wraith King, doing a little bit of pressure on this Spectre. Doesn't want to give up the free farm completely. Spectre actually doesn't have a great way to kill these skeletons. Just as the Q, so they do a lot of damage to her. "14-minute comes up. Looks like Spectre is going to be getting the one on her side of the map. And yeah, 1 for 1 on those wisdoms. If you're a Radiant, you're thinking back to that Soulbind fight and you're thinking, wow, we really need to do that again. Let's just get together, Soulbind, Duel, Laguna, Finger, like nothing survives that. Legion does have the blink, has not shown, just got it. So you'd expect Legion to want to do something with that. Though at this point nobody's really showing. You have 3 heroes of Dyers in their own jungle, kind of farming creeps together. Spectre is farming the very safe camps just outside of her base, and Snap's the only one really showing in the mid wave. The top lane, you gotta be careful of these creeps. The creeps can reveal the blink dagger. Legion just kiting the creeps ever so slightly. Doom working towards Radiance. It's gonna be pretty big Radiance. Ooh, nice blink on the Witch Doctor, killing the main target. They commit a lot of resources onto it. Finger comes out. Lina here is here with the Laguna. The teleporter here is from Dire up here. I think everybody's up here except the Wraith King. As they manage to bring down the Grimstroke, Mortimer's Kisses is going to push everybody away. Last Mortimer's comes down. Smoke used a little bit too late. Unable to dodge. Legion blinking in, gets doomed. That should be enough to kill the Doom, though, as Lina gets that pick. Wraith King finally shows up, also working towards Radiance. He wants to find stuff, but it's likely just going to be kited here. Has the ult. Lina is still around. Has spells. Wraith King can't really run from this. Has to kind of man up, but 4 Dire heroes here. It gets queued up, not going to have much impact. And goes down. Pretty tragic rotation for Wraith King. Just showed up a little bit way too late, right? Like, he showed up once all of his teammates were dead. No, we got an E off on Lina. I thought something was happening. Ah, she steals the invis. That was pretty slick. Doesn't have Laguna for number 10. If she did, this would be a dead snap. Spike comes out a little late. What's this thing called? Earth Spike, yeah. But just a little too early. Low Laguna on that to be able to secure that kill. Have Radiance completion on the Doom. Wraith King is still working on his. We do have the Blink Daggers on Lina and Legion Commander. Actually, bottom lane we have Lina getting chased by the Doom. No Doom though. And just getting burned down by the Radiance. Very tragic. Actually, Shadow Demon might have saved the Lina here. Oh, no. Poison comes out. Has the Purge, as the rest of Dire supports have shown up and they're following this Doom around. And net worth-wise, Gold is favoring Dire. You can see all of their cores are ahead of their Radiant counterparts. As the tower just died. Was that the mid tower? I think that was a mid tower. Come on, Granola, go kill the tower. I know you only have 1,000 HP. It's 83. It's one hit. Tragic. For that fight I was saying, Lina and Legion both have Blink, so you'd expect them to be doing stuff with that. Looking for picks. They did go bottom on that Doom. That's kind of a really hard target, though. To go on the stage of the game. Doom, no Blink. Lina is showing. The tip by Doom on the Witch Doctor. I wonder what that's about. Lina's going to walk face first to this Doom. Nice blink out by Emu, dodging that. Meanwhile, top lane, they're going to find the Snapfire. Spectre is going to haunt and get on top of Crash. Crash does not drop the ult. Granola now maledicted, no ult, so he's going to go down to this Doom for good. As the other support goes down, Legion now blinks in. Gets doomed up for a good measure, but gets that dual win. The Skeletons now showing vision on the Lina. They will get that Witch Doctor, but Legion's going down. Spectre went down. And Lina has the blink, can chase if she wants to. Will do so, misses the W. I think missed the Q as well. This Doom's just going to be able to walk away. Very tanky hero. At the end of that, net worth, team-wise, still stays the same, 3 for 4. Although it ends up being gold favored for Radiant as they were behind. Spectre dying was pretty big. Lina did not buy back, so she was around for a couple of those kills and got a lot of nice XP from that. You can kind of see 1,300, although Doom got the lion's share of 2,000. Both sides now jungling up. Wraith King, come on, Granola, just hit the thing. Hit the thing. Oh no, don't tell me Snap's gonna defend it. Don't tell me Snap's gonna defend it. Snap's good. Now the skeletons are gonna come back. Come on, skeletons. Yeah, there we go. Gets the tower. And we have a smoke play by Radiant now in their own bottom jungle. They're gonna find a Doom here. This is pretty big. Blink duel early. They drop the Laguna and the Finger. Not many heroes are going to be surviving that kind of onslaught at this stage of the game. That's a lot of resources committed, but they get that big Doom kill. 3 times killing spree going to crash on the Grimstroke. Top lane we have Snap and Shadow Demon nearby the Wraith King, although he's got ult this time, so it'll be a bit difficult to bring him down. And looks like Radiant, even without Finger and Duel, although Duel is coming up soon, along with Laguna, they're going to be coming up here. Wraith King is not going to be able to start the fight on the Snap. She blinks away. That's not going to stop Radiant, though, as they invade the jungle looking for kills. All 5 Radiant heroes are up here. Smoke play by Dire under their own tier 2. It's just the 2 of them, though. Pick up more. Everybody on Dire is smoked up, other than the Spectre behind their own tier 2. Now they're going to come out as Radiant have backed off from this top push. Going for the stacks. The smoked heroes run mid. They probably saw a Lion there push out the wave, although we're probably going to have a fight here now. Doom blinks in, looking for the Doom. We'll use it on Legion. They're going to commit everything on this Legion. Mortimer's Doom, Haunt. She will go down. Wraith King is nearby. It's going to slow people up. That's going to get the Soulbind off. As Lena's not in the area. They do get the Finger off, though. So there's at least that combo. Lena's running into this fight. She's very slow, but I had to come into Fountain. Witch Doctor roll kills 2. Lena's finally here, but at this point she's missing a lot of heroes. Lion's going to buy back. Try and come into this fight, but Dire have the luxury of walking away at this point, which they'll do so. Lena does a blink if she wants to chase. She will go down, misses the blink. We're going to have to see counter blink by Shadow Demon. Didn't use any spells though, didn't catch. Snap also has blink. I'm sorry for playing so zoomed out here, but both teams want to jump blink on the other, and so I have to like play zoomed out to see where the blinks go. Anyway, they're going to start on Shadow Demon. Legion is in the area. Probably going to get a duel off here. Nope, blink away. Nope. Doesn't matter. Legion gets that blink duel off. We'll bring down the Shadow Demon. 60 duel damage on Legion. Now, as they keep looking for more, miss the Earth Spike. Lena is right there with the LSA. Should be easy with the Hex. Although Snaps here now, beautiful cookie in. Gets them very low. Nobody dies, though, as Lena's just running away. All 3 heroes rating it pretty low as Lena's just running away, able to get that teleport off. We go back to mid, and that's just 2 dead supports for free at the end of that big fight. Mid is pretty low. Wraith King probably wants to try and take this, though they're going to back for now. So a bit of a stall happening from Dire's advantage with that team fight. Nobody important died, but you did have these, like LC got dual damage and a kill, LC got another kill, so big net worth jump for her. She really needed that. Like, look at her down there with the supports in terms of net worth. Another, like, bad game by Dimitri farm-wise. I'm surprised. I don't think it was that bad of a lane. It's just, you have 93 CS. 174, 132. Just might be trying to do a little bit too much dueling. Shadowdemon's gonna blink in, gets hexed up by the Lion. They're gonna drop Finger and Laguna on him. Holy moly, Legion's gonna go in with the duel on the Witch Doctor. Completely scuffed initiation by the Shadow Demon there. Just blinking, didn't realize the Lion was there and got insta-hexed before he could do anything. Also, like, teammates couldn't really get there. Like, Snap had the blink, Witch Doctor didn't, so it was gonna be difficult for the team to really follow up on whatever Shadow Demon got onto. Going in without visions. Paid the price as the two supports die once again. Number 1200 going the way of Team Radiant. Late game, I'd favor Spectre, but Duel always kind of mixes up the calculation because Legion can almost kill everybody with a duel, barring some heroes, some saves. So if they're able to find the Spectre and just duel kill her, it's not really much of a late game hero. It's kind of like Void Chrono, right? Like Void is good late game because he can solo kill anything. In Chrono, there's like no counterplay. For Duel, the only counterplay you can do like Antis, you can do, like you can have save heroes, you can bulk tank. But I mean, if the Spectre is allowed to farm much faster than this Legion will be able to survive the Spectre in a duel. That is a fact. But you do have the Wraith King as well. Wraith King not so much of a late game hero as Spectre, but he's impossible to burst, and this team is pretty bursty. Oh no, Lina got baited by the rune, blink in. They're gonna commit Haunt on her. Doom's up. She has shield rune. I think it was Purge though. And she will go down very quickly. That is a lot of resources used though. Haunt Doom down. And Radiant just gonna back up and chill. Let's talk about Wraith King. Yeah, Wraith King is a good late game hero. Especially if you go Ags, because your team just never dies. But probably not as good late game as Spectre. We have a Roche play off of that Lina pick. So they won't have Lina for this fight, but I feel like this is really bad. Doom BKB though. Lion's gonna blink and get the stun off. Soulbind comes off. They have no follow-up because the Lion died so quickly. No finger. It is a disaster for Team Radiant. Lion, I think, just went in there a little too early. Wraith King now is gonna go down. Yeah, that was a little scuffed. So Lion just started the fight way too early. You needed to get vision with the Soulbind. Lina actually shows up with the Laguna Blade, trying to bring down the Snapfire. She's burning, but Witch Doctor's there to heal her up. Roche is very low, finally goes down to Spectre. As they're gonna find this Lina. Snaps right here with the cookie. Perfect timing. Brings down Emu on that Lina. Excellent play. That's the combo right there, actually. That's the strategy they're thinking of. You just disrupt somebody, and then Snap can cookie them. Yeah, it just does massive damage. Massive damage, big stuns. Really good early game combo, so that's why you got the Blink Rush on Shadow Demon. Yeah, but that fight was just, the line went in a little bit too early. You needed to get the Soulbind off so you could double up your Earth Spikes and your ults and get the double duel off. Like you needed everybody there to be on time, ready to go before that line blinks in. Big turn of events for Team Dire as they get that win, get the Lina pick, and get Roche. They are poised to take some tier 2 towers now. Although right now they're just farming up. Spectre fairly close to, I think that's Scotty. Legion working towards BKB, a couple minutes off from that. Doom has that BKB just used and now working towards Harpoon to stay on top of people. Wraith King got Blink Radiance working towards AC. I don't like this AC. There's not a lot of fizz damage on this team. Witch Doctor is pure and magic. Doom is mostly magic and pure. Snap is mostly magic this stage of the game. We'll eventually transition into right click, but that's way later on. Shadow Demon is all magic. Spectre is mostly pure damage and magic from the Radiance. I don't agree with this AC. Like, it buffs up your skeletons, makes them a little tankier, but like they're gonna be dying anyway to all the magic damage. Team Radiant like this play. They realize they don't really want to be contesting this bottom tier 2, so they're going to stay top and take this Torm. Take the opportunity to Torm at least. It's gonna get them very low. Oh man, a Spectre haunts right now. She'd get an easy double kill. I think the supports realize that and they're gonna run home. Make sure they're nice and safe in their fountain. That did cost the bottom tier 2 tower though, so Dire's just gonna do a lazy transition over to the mid lane. Start pushing this out. We might have Legion get found here. Nope, Doom backs off. And does Dire defend this? I feel like they have the tools to do some pretty significant defending, right? Like you can, if you coordinate with Lion Grim, get the Soulbind Hex off, this is probably going to be a fight right here. Blinking by Witch Doctor. Spike Growth misses everything. Witch Doctor will just kill on the Legion Commanders. Soulbind doesn't really hit anything. As Witch Doctor got low but did not die. Doom's in with BKB. Going on this Wraith King who is not doomed but has ults. Gonna come back up. Everybody's in this base. I feel like you have to use your fort at this point. Try and get some tower damage off, but it doesn't really matter. They've just completely lost the fight. I don't know where the Soulbind went that fight, but it was not effective. It might just be a case of Dire's just too far ahead monetarily and level-wise. Like, show the fight recap. But if we look at hero level, like, yeah, they're just 2 or 3 levels ahead of their peers. Shadow Demon trolling the Doom a little bit. Did not get the Harpoon off because of the Q. Oh, the Caskie's perfect. Gandalina down. She's just outside base. She's going to survive, though. And meanwhile, we have a Doom on the, I think it was a Shadow Demon. That's going to be a pick off. Spectre very low, 30 seconds on Aegis. Grimstroke is trying to chase. They're going to be able to smite her down. The rest of Dire is in the area. There's no Witch Doctor. Even if it was here, it wouldn't really have anything other than the Caskie. Soulbind comes out, double finger. There it is. There's the combo. Wraith King's going to go down, but he's going to be around for the XP on those 2 massive picks. Snapfire and Spectre. And they're going to get a third here. Doom going down, killing spree there. And just like that, what looked like a terrible mid lane fight transitioning into a Rax turns out to just be way too much of a dive, and Dire get punished for it, losing 5,300 gold, 10,000 XP. Legion getting the lion's share plus dual damage on that Shadow Demon. Finishing the BKB now on Legion, and just a big old swing. They're still in the red. It's still, 88% win rate favored for Team Dire. But that was an excellent Aegis fight right there by Radiant. That probably gives them the confidence to play aggressively here, as only the supports are alive on Team Dire. They are hanging out in their own base, waiting for the cores to show up. Looks like, yeah, Radiant is waiting for these supports to show up, but yeah, they're playing safe. They know that Radiant not really showing anywhere, so gonna get defensive ward down. Lion is gonna see Shadow Demon. Will blink Hex. Instant. Oh no, the Q by Witch Doctor is devastating with the ult. Haunt comes in, and that is a dead Lina and Lion. Ay. The Snapfire throws Spectre with the Ags. That's stuff that you don't normally see on a core Snapfire. Throws that Spectre in, but Legion was able to blink out of there. That was a devastating little trade right there. Just started the fight right into the Caskie. Lena just not getting any use out of that Lincoln's. Ay. The haunt as well. They needed to respect the haunt. Did not make that play. Dyer's all up. Lena's dead, so they're going to 5-man go top. Waiting for creeps now, but expect them to take this tier 2 tower here in a second. As they take over the triangle. Radiant's combo is very strong, but it's very timing heavy. You have to, synergize perfectly. Like, you have to be on the same page. You have to go in the exact same time, get the Blink Hex duel off with the Soulbind. Bottom lane, Wraith King was going for Wisdom. He's gonna be Rainbow TP'd on here. And that's gonna be a dead Granola as almost the entire Dire team has come over here. Do you have Blink, Wraith King? You do have Blink. It's not able to get it off, though. One hit. Oh, you got him! He got the Witch Doctor. His entire team is tipping him. Ay. Well, Granola stopped the push with his life. And he got a Witch Doctor kill. Honestly, not even that bad. Not even that bad. Radiant's still in the hole here. Do have significant pick-off potential, but it's just feeling a little unconfident right now. Playing a little bit far back on these heroes. Like, it almost feels like they need the Laguna and the Finger to bring down these high HP, high level heroes, like 3,000 HP on Snap. That's crazy. Like, I don't think this is well, they timed the stuns. Haunt's gonna come out. They're gonna be able to get the pick off with Laguna, but Spectre's here. Doom is coming up just behind. And Doom doesn't want to use Doom on the Lion. They might be leaving the Lion for dead though. 3 seconds on the Glimmer. Not able to get it off the Harpoon. We'll end that. Being able to get away. They're able to get that big Snapfire pick though. Like, look at that gold bounty. 1,200 gold for that pick. Easily Radiant favorite there. I've never lull in the action. The play is probably Roshan. It is bottom for the next 2.5 minutes. Gotta be a little careful though if you are Dire, because if you get Soulbind dueled, Finger Lagooned, it's basically fight over at that point. Gotta respect the... What Radiant's really missing is just some way to get vision. Like, if they had like a friggin' creep item, like the, what is it called, Helm Dom, this would be a lot better, because you could throw in the creep and get vision, so you can like blink and chain all your stuff together. Like, you have to rely on the wards to be able to, have these great team fights and get all of your stuff off and coordinate what targets you're going on. But they don't really have any kind of vision here. So it's a little bit harder to make this draft, which is very, very timing precise, to work out in their favor. Roche is getting woken up. Spectre is going to be running into the pit. This is going to be a very quick Roche because of the Shadow Demon Illusions plus Spectre Manta. Yeah, you can see Roche is already a quarter down. It's just, where's my camera going? What the hell? It's like, it does not like Roshan. It's going to go down really quickly, and Spectre is going to pick up that Aegis once again. Dire playing bottom. Likely going to see our push here. Radiant has pretty good poke between the Lina, the Lion, and the Grim, so Spectre can't just hit the tower for free, and you can't really stand behind the Spectre because you're going to get soulbound really easily. There is no Snapfire for this. She does have bots, so she is able to come in. It's a little tricky to do this high ground here. You gotta play like really far back as these heroes are doing. Being wary of the soulbind. Banner does come out. It's a little far behind though. If the creeps are pulled a little bit closer, they'll be able to kill them. Spectre, yeah, it's just getting chain damage with all this poke. Lina especially very strong with the poke. Snap getting pretty far forward. You could soulbind if you want. They ping the Spectre, drop the soulbind. Everything's coming out. Double Laguna. What the hell happened? Where'd everybody go? Oh, Snap got queued. Spectre died. I don't think anybody died from the duel actually. Legion goes down to the Maledict. Lina gets doomed. She has to run back to base. Wraith King getting very low. Witch Doctor drops the ult. Lots of little damage that is going all over the place, killing the Grimstroke. Legion does buyback, jumps in, kills the Witch Doctor, but that's going to be her dieback. And Dire's going to take that bottom lane of racks. Lina no longer doomed. Got Lincolns, unfortunately. Did Doom have a way to purge that? Yeah, it was probably the literal purge ability to get rid of that Lincolns. But no Doom here. Mortimer's actually got cancelled by, it was either Wraith King or no one's shadowed even pressing Q. Lina's in danger now though. This purged is 100% slowed. And just no fucking save. Lion not there, no Q. Where's the Wraith King in all this? Wraith King is back in base. Actually able to kill the dude. No, the pull away by the Ags on Snapfire. It's massive. Low cost for her life. Doom is too low HP to recommit into the fight. Spectre was top hitting creeps. It's just going to drop an illusion onto the Lion. Kill him. Very split up fight as they usually are when a Spectre's involved. Buyback from Lion. Probably unnecessary. I think this Spectre was dead anyway. The Shadow Demon is here. Has Gem. They're trying to keep the Spectre alive. She has no like blink though, so can't really get her. Ooh, LSA! LSA! Oh, he had the Hex in the queue. It did not use it though. The Gem gets away. Yeah, never just scrappy, buybacky fight. Lots of stuff happening. Bottom racks did go down. Top racks exposed. And Dire just keep pressing their advantage. Giving up a little bit of gold lead, but they got those buybacks, so not so significant. They're now sitting pretty at a 97% chance to win, according to Gavin. And Radiant just... Oh no, Doom's here. Oh, got the purge off with the Lincoln's break. Still has Doom. But you gotta back off as lane. If you get doomed, you're toast. Doom go the mute facet? Yeah, for the talent facet. What am I talking about? There's no such thing as facets in this game anymore. It's just innates. Wraith King Bloodthorn, this is a build that says, I am here to kill supports. I am here to jump the back line, ignore the Spectre, and just kill supports. Although, Bloodthorn's pretty good versus Spectre. She is a high armor hero, 34, and so getting that spammable magic damage buff really helps out. 60% all damage taken, magic damage. Yeah, True Strike plus 50 damage. Really strong ability. Dire still has Doom. They've smoked up. Running into the bottom jungle. Nobody's showing. All of Radiant are just sitting pretty in their base. Will we see a base invade of the smoke? Wraith King is going to go outside base. I don't know if they saw... Oh no, Legion gets jumped on, gets Maledict Deed. Witch Doctor now out of position though. They might just give up this Witch Doctor. Still there, glimmered under the sentry. Oh no, Doom comes out. They will Doom Lena. Soulbind comes out though. I don't know if there's any follow-up. The finger is there, but the Doom's BKB. You don't really want to use it now. Double Haunt comes out. You gotta clump up if you're Radiant. Oh no, the Witch Doctor is just shredding everybody in Fountain. The Haunt giving vision for it. And that's a lot of dead Radiant heroes without buyback. Only the Legion and the Wraith King alive. Deal with the entirety of Dire's team. This probably GG. Wraith King's gonna go in. Trying to go on the Witch Doctor. Legion just blinks. Blade Mills leaves the Wraith King alone. Does not have ult. He will die. Legion will die. And that's a full team wipe for Radiant, and that's gonna be the game, I expect. No GG call just yet. There it is. Game 2 going to Magenta 9-inch Fantasy once again. 2-0'd Team Granola. It just felt like Dire played better. I know it's easy to say. It's not really insightful, but Dire just felt like more on the same page. Radiant tried to do a thing with, you know, the blinks, the soulbind. You try and combo with the soulbind. It's very timing precise. Everybody has to be there. It didn't really work out, so you fell behind. Then all of a sudden you can't really kill anybody. And you know, we went to late game versus a Spectre. She got Butterfly. I guess that's what the Bloodthorn was though for the Butterfly. Like they were able to win team fights, but it's just so hard. Doom, you know, on point with those Lincoln's breaks, dooming the lean in every single fight, making sure she wasn't able to do that much damage, although she ended up top damage on her team. Granola did not really have the best laning phase. If you look at that, he was bottom net worth on that Wraith King at 10 minutes, along with the Legion. So once again, just losing the laning phase against a team which has better lead game versus you. So they're just playing from behind. They had to do things with the soulbind combos. And just it feels like Dire coordinated better. But anyway, that's game 2. That was a fun cast. Hope you all enjoyed watching this. And yeah, I was going to say something like stick around for next week, but I don't know if I'm going to be here next week. And yeah, thanks for all for watching. See you all later.